There you go. Come on, people. What's up? Welcome. The affordability hoax. I say the only affordability hoax is that CEO and greedy out for his selfer was going to try to make things affordable for other people. That's the only hoax about affordability that has been going around. That very greedy, selfish people, proven by their historical actions. Footnote here, a verbal footnote. Look up Donald Trump's foundation in New York. See why he's not allowed to run it. I.e., look up the contractors for Mar-a-Lago and his contractors in New Jersey. End of footnote, end of foot annotation. But the only hoax about affordability, folks, was that a guy who has been out for himself, forever, was going to try to make things affordable for you. The day one hoax, Zen Ali. We got a lot of news, to-dos, use. One of the funniest things, I'm going to have to go back in time. In my mind, I'm going. We're going to go over some breakdown of recent events. I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to my brother for sending me some cool stuff. Some cool stuff that, hold on. Where the heck? Yo. Hold on. Oh, here it is. Okay, here it is. We're going to go over the affordability hoax. But huge shout out to my brother. He sent me some cool breakdowns of the news happening right now that we've been talking about. The Venezuelan war crimes, Secretary of War Crimes, Pete Hegseth, and why we're going into Venezuela. And we're going to do a little ICE chat. Because ICE is a plague upon our society. So we'll break down that. But the big news is, guys, affordability is a hoax. Hold on. Let me just get the professional definition of hoax for all you 90s kids. Hoax. For those who know what movie I'm talking about. A humorous or malicious deception. Well, I wouldn't say this one's humorous, but definitely malicious. Hoax, a malicious deception. There's a tweet for everything, right? The GOP, January 14th, make America affordable again. Well, I'm pretty sure there was a whole campaign on making eggs affordable, America affordable. And today, in fucking told you so news, this ancient being who's dwelling on our earth and, gobbling up tanning lotion. Is that what he eats? Why does he have an orange hue? Was he visiting Chernobyl? Like, what is this dude's deal? Why does he look like that? It looks like a light bulb, Like the fucking brightness of the hair. We know, that ain't natural. Neither is that orange hue. But this dude here, let me just give you the audio for it.
These are the facts we have to get out. And, there's this fake narrative that the Democrats talk about, affordability. They just say the word. It doesn't mean anything to anybody. They just say it. Affordability. I inherited the worst inflation in history. There was no affordability. Nobody could afford anything. The prices were massively high. Do you remember when we took over eggs?
Remember when we took over eggs? Now that is a sentence. Remember when we took over eggs? Is that the border to Venezuela, or what is that?
Great job on that, Madam Secretary. Agriculture, Brooke. Eggs were 4 or 5 times higher than they had ever been. They said don't order eggs for Easter at the White House. And we ended up doing it, and we got the egg prices way down, lower than what they were before. But the word affordability is a con job.
Now listen to Donald. The word affordability is a con job, folks. That's why they used it to get into power, because it was a con job. They knew, the word listen to this dude.
Than what they were before, but the word affordability is a con job.
Now that's exactly why you see this. This is exactly why, because the Republicans do not care about you. MAGA does not care about you. Most politicians do not care about you, but they need them votes to secure that power, okay? So he's telling you it's a con job. And some of y'all fell for it. Maybe later in life you got duped. And that's okay, as long as you learn a lesson from it. Time to stand on the right side of history, folks. You hear? Affordability is a con job. That's right. You want to know why? Because this is a CEO of many failed businesses, and all his friends are CEOs. And all those billionaire CEOs, the greedy people that just can't be content with enough, like they have so much. And instead of being like, hey, we're blessed. We are a blessed 1% of people. We really should ensure that Americans have health care. No person's dying from lack of access to health care. We really should make sure that 1 in 5 children don't go food insecure here in America. We really should make sure that veterans and homeless people have shelter, especially in these cold winters and hot summers. We do have 5 empty homes for every 1 homeless person. The math is mathing. The people that went to his inauguration, that donated $270 million, that donated $40 million in the likes of buying the rights to Melania's Be Best autobiographical movie. How boring is that going to be? I mean, include the Epstein stuff, Melania, Like, hey, when Jeff Bezos bought the rights to your life movie, include the backstory about Epstein, We'll watch that. Or are you going to whitewash your story? You Slovenian slut. Yeah. But this is your leader saying affordability is a con job. That's what he said. These are not my words. I think affordability is a good thing. I think the society we live in gets better when people can afford stuff. I know that might just sound like it makes sense, but not to old Donald Rumpus, Jeffrey Epstein's best friend. King Joffrey, as he would have been known in another land.
And we ended up doing it, and we got the egg prices way down, lower than what they were before. But the word affordability is a con job.
It's a con job, the word. That's why they used it so hard last year. Because they needed to con you into thinking, hey, we believe in affordability. What could it cost, Michael? $50 an egg? Groceries, what an old-timey word. How adorable. I think I made the word groceries up. I mean, really, he's telling you affordability, that word is a con job. They just need it so they can consolidate power. If you don't know what I'm talking about, here's a good image for those who want to understand when people say, oh, I'm a libertarian, and they go to work from 9 to 5 every day. They're just supporting this. Unless you're one of the Koch brothers or David Prager, is that his name? David Prager from PragerU and Prager Kids, that propaganda network for your children. Unless you're one of them, you're not a libertarian. You like regulations. That's what keeps you safe at work. Lets you have a weekend. Things like that. Keeps that water clean that you drink. Yeah, I guess some of these regulations have been whittled away. But yeah. It's Dennis. It's Dennis Prager. I don't give a shit. Dennis. What's the other one? David Duke. Dennis Prager. All a bunch of old racist white guys that want to convince you the problem is immigrants, folks. That's what they want to convince you. While they keep hoarding the money, paying you less and less, while your money's worth less and less, and they whittle away regulations until you just work till you die. No retirement, no pension, no nothing. They're all the same. They're greedy, in case you didn't know. That's the problem. We get a greed problem. Here's its mask. Looks like he's wearing, like, you know, this could be a cool horror movie if this guy was like the Jersey Shore stalker, and he wears the faces of old Jersey Shore castmates that have tanned themselves till the, you know, like a reptile, like a snake, like their skin peels off because they tanned so hard, and he wears their mask and comes out and says affordability. But you heard him, man. This is not me saying it.
Down lower than what they were before, but the word affordability is a con job.
I know it is. You ain't got to remind me. Because when I hear you talking about affordability, when I hear this man say affordability, make America affordable again, I think that guy who's not allowed to run a foundation or a university, the guy who's known for stealing from people, stealing their time, value, worth, the guy who sold Trump steaks and Brook Brothers or Sharper Image, those are basically the same store. The guy who tried hawking everything under the sun, that guy wants America affordable. The guy who bragged about having a golden toilet and took family photos in his skyrise with him and Barron and his immigrant wife who came here on an EB-1 visa, which I assume clearly means Epstein Buddy 1, right? That's what EB-1 has to stand for. The Epstein Buddy 1 visa. So Melania definitely came here on an Epstein Buddy visa. I don't know if they're still giving those out. But that guy who like bragged about I'm being the richest, even though it was his daddy, old daddy Trump, he is gonna make things affordable. How's that going, America? Not that good. Not that good. Let's listen to some more.
By the Democrats. They say affordable. I watched the other day where some very low IQ congresswoman talked about affordability.
Anybody else get the irony of this? The person who's saying this, calling someone low IQ.
Very low IQ congresswoman talked about affordability. She had no idea. Their prices were much higher.
Yep. That's why people talk about affordability. He's a fucking moron. Speaking of affordability, before we get into some of the news, we're all closer to being homeless than billionaires. Sweetheart day. Yeah, that's right. We are. We are. Welcome. We're going to get to some news. I got some more stuff to play for yous. Have you heard of surveillance pricing? Well, if you're a subscriber, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you're a subscriber to the channel, you absolutely know about surveillance pricing, dynamic pricing. This is when corporations spy on you, whether or not you have your phone. And when you go into their store, if you've noticed that the old paper price tags maybe have been taken away, and now they have digital tagging. If you're wondering why are there all the digital tags being put up, or in some cases, why are now everything digital in the store? That's because they're doing surveillance pricing. Big surveillance state going on. And I've talked about this for a while. I've witnessed it firsthand. I try to fight against it, and I try to bring this to the attention of many, because just like when Wendy's, I think it was, when Wendy's announced we're going to do dynamic pricing, and if everybody's ordering a cheeseburger at lunch, then that cheeseburger for the fifth person in line is going to be $20 instead of 10. Everybody got uproarious, and Wendy's said, okay, we're not going to announce we're doing dynamic pricing. I think they said that we're not going to do it, but I think really I read between the lines, and what they were saying is we're not going to announce it anymore. We're still going to do it. We're just not going to say it out loud or in like investor meetings. But dynamic pricing is, when they price gouge you because it's a hot day and everybody wants a fan. So, unlucky you weren't the first one to buy it. Now that fan is 4 times the amount. Or if there's wildfires near you because, Earth is being murdered. Those air filters are going to cost a lot more in your neck of the burning woods. And surveillance pricing is getting a little more attention these days. And More Perfect Union, who I love, has a little video on it I wanted to play for you.
Biggest secrets. Right now, companies are using your personal data like your location, your browsing history, your device type to decide what price to show you. That means you could be paying more than your friends or neighbors for the same flights, hotel rooms, even groceries. So I'm here to expose surveillance pricing.
Surveillance pricing. And this is good information to be armed with because, we can combat this. We can.
How it works, who profits, and who's trying to put a stop to it. Take hotel rooms. Reporters from SFGate found in February that the cost of the exact same New York City hotel room changed based on where they searched from. Using a Bay Area IP address, the price was hundreds of dollars higher than if the search had come from Phoenix or Kansas City.
So you hear that? If you were in one of them poorer cities, a hotel room would be less expensive. You would think, oh, it's the same hotel room. Why would the price of the hotel room change if I'm just buying from a different city or renting the room from a different city? By the way, what's up, KRAR? Yeah, YouTube is changing everything around. So now everyone's names are different and everything. So if I don't recognize you, my apologies. To the new people here, hey, what's up? How's life? How's life been? Has it been a tough go? Or has it been cruising on easy street? I don't know. That's why I'm asking. I hope you're doing well. I hope you hit subscribe. I hope you join the community. And to all the old friends, good to see ya. Good to see ya. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna talk about war crimes in Venezuela and the real reason we're going to war. The no new wars president. That the president who claims he solved 8 of them, even though, no one's been able to name all 8. And a lot of times what they do is they just name both sides in one war and count it as double. Again, morons. But before we get into all that, before we talk about how ICE has just become a capitalism extremist wholesale on people, the more people you can catch, it's like Pokemon. You got to catch them all. And they are. They're starting to catch all of us. Because, a couple of corporations are going to make billions of dollars off it. The weird thing is these corporations that are profiting off of ICE, the private prisons, they don't have a long-term vision. These people are severely short-sighted because if they catch all of us, which they're going to, when ICE comes for all of us, guess what? The tax money that is funding ICE is going to stop. But they don't need to worry about tomorrow. That's why our planet's getting destroyed. Let's finish this surveillance pricing video. Welcome to the live stream.
In one case, more than $500 per night higher. A spokesperson for Booking Holdings, which owns Booking.com, Priceline, and Kayak.
Did you hear that? These are little things that when I watch the video, someone said, when they go, oh, a spokesperson for, whatever the corporation name is, Take All Your Money Holdings, LLC, Limited. They said they own Booking.com, Priceline, and Kayak. So again, this is the big illusion with Americans. They're like, greatest country in the world. Look at all the choices. I can go to Booking. I can go to Kayak. I can go to, what is the other one? Priceline. Remember Willie Shatner did Priceline, I think it was. And it's like, oh, sweet child. Oh, sweet child, oh mine. That's one company, just with different cereal box fronts, just with different little mascots to make you think that you're doing all this adventurous shopping. But if you've gone to Booking, Priceline, or Kayak, why? Why? You know what I mean? You're on the same company's website.
Said that combination partners control the prices consumers see and they can offer special promotional rates. Target shoppers saw something similar. In 2019, Minnesota reporters tested the Target app and discovered that prices jumped when they entered the store.
Did you hear that? They tested the Target app. Test this for yourself. See if it's happening by you. You know, put this into a real world scenario. They said when they went into the store, they would check the app, and the prices on the app were shooting up in store. You're going to find out why. Let's keep watching.
A Shark vacuum went up $40. A car seat went up $72, and a Dyson vacuum went up $148 just for being in the building. Target said the app showed in-store pricing when a shopper was in the store and online pricing when a customer was on the go. Target did say it would price match lower Target prices, but who has the time to investigate that for every purchase? This has actually been going on for a while. A 2012 Wall Street Journal investigation found that on Orbitz, Mac users were more likely to be shown pricier hotels than PC users. At the time, Orbitz executives confirmed that they were experimenting with showing different hotels to Mac users than PC users.
So at the time, they confirmed. Orbitz confirmed. They were like, yeah, of course we show Mac users different prices. They bought a Mac. This isn't your $100. I hate that they call it PC, because PC just stands for personal computer users. But you know the lingo, Windows.
But they deny that they were showing the same room to different users at different prices. Across all these examples, companies are using your personal data to guess how much you'll pay using sweeping generalizations. Bay Area must have a bigger budget. On a Mac, probably willing to spend more. Already inside a Target store, you're ready to buy whatever's in front of you.
Already in the Target store? If you're on the app, you're going to buy it because you're already here. What are you going to do? Not buy it? And this happens too in other sneaky ways. They'll mislabel things, or if you've gone shopping and you've noticed that the labels are just all gone, so you can't even tell, and you need it, so you put it in the cart and you go and check out. There is a lot of sneaky stuff, but this is one of the newer ones, with corporations spending, I'm guessing, $1 zillion to surveil you and find out how they can just squeeze that extra $40 out of you. Not like you're not going to come back next week because there are no other stores besides fucking Target and Walmart. It's not like you have to spend your entire paycheck there because Amazon, Walmart, and Target are the only stores that exist in America anymore. Those are the only stores in every neighborhood. Go ahead. Book your Orbitz.com flight and go to any city in America. Drive 5 miles from the airport. Walmart, Target, or you just use Amazon. Welcome to America. It's free market.
And it can get even more invasive. Former FTC Chair Lina Khan,
our queen, our goddess, our love. She is so amazing. She was doing God's work. Lina Khan, we miss you. We miss you. Lina Khan. Let's just take a moment to appreciate the warrioress that is Lina Khan. My God, I love Lina. She's so amazing. All right, she warned what?
Warned that airlines could raise ticket prices if they detect that you need to travel for a funeral.
If they detect you need to travel for a funeral, airlines will raise your ticket prices. Is this the great capitalism you speak of? That if you Googled obituary or Googled some kind of funeral home thing, airlines can sense that because they have all these bugs and cookies in your computer and they're like, oh, this bitch has to fly. Well, I got news for you, airlines. I've had to skip all the recent funerals in my life because I couldn't even afford a fucking ticket. How's that for a society? And that's a true story. My God, are you proud of yourself, America? Oh, the party of family values. We've made it too expensive to put a deceased one in the ground.
Say by tracking that you've read an obituary online or searched for funeral homes. Even personalized discounts can be unfair. Imagine a company offering discounts on air purifiers to everyone except for people living in wildfire zones, where they
discounts on air purifiers to everyone except if you're real close to that wildfire that you might need an air purifier. That sounds awesome. This is what you defend, capitalists. This is what you defend.
need them the most. Same effect, vulnerable people paying more. Here's the good news. Legislators are starting to notice.
Here's the good news. The legislators, average age 78, have figured out how to get online. And once they figure out how to get to these tricky websites and TikToks, or what are we talking about again? One of them dozed off. But the good news is Congress knows there's a World Wide Web, and one of these days, one of their stock portfolio asset managers is going to let them know that this is becoming a problem.
In California, Colorado, Georgia, and Illinois, legislators introduced bills that would tackle surveillance pricing. But
how about just an all-out ban? How about not a bill that's written by the lobbyists that has like a loophole? How about we just, the people put it on a ballot, and it just says no surveillance pricing. Give us the privacy rights that they have in the European Union. Can we do that, Bill? You know how lobbyists will usually write the laws for the politicians and give it to the politicians? The politicians just sign it and fucking bang the gavel, put it into law or whatever. I don't know. I watched some Night Court when I was a kid. I'm assuming that's how most legislative branches go. They hold a night court. And Bull. Remember Bull? Dan. Anyways, we, the people, should just, like when the founding fathers were looking around and like, how are we gonna set this shit up? We gotta copy and paste a little of this stuff. Phrase soon to be released, not in 1776. I say we, the people, just copy and paste that privacy laws on the EU's website. How they protect their data and don't let massive companies like Meta and all that, turn us into data cattle. Can we just copy and paste that one and make it onto the ballots everywhere so we can have some privacy? Continue on. Sorry, more perfect union. Video down below. Hey, what's up, Benzo? Good to see you. Jima, Bull from Night Court. Oh, you know what I'm talking about. I hope that's a Night Court theme. That might not be. What's up, Crush? Good to see you guys. Good to see everybody. Salute. Hit the subscribe, hit the bells, hit the whistles, hit the notifications, and do it all in the name of fuck surveillance pricing.
But corporations aren't going down without a fight. They've hired lobbyists to kill or we
more perfect union. I love your reporting, but they hired lobbyists. They have lobbyists on retainer, full-time staff. Like corporations have a lobby division at this point. They weren't like, oh geez, what are we gonna do about this? Let's hire some lobbyists. They've, corporations since Citizens United have begun personhood, and part of that personhood was like our right-hand men or lobbyists. So they're not hiring them. They're on fucking retainer.
weaken some of these bills. At California,
To weaken, did you see? I didn't even catch that part. But that's what I was saying. I was like, the lobbyists are going to write the laws to protect us from surveillance pricing. And they'll write the loopholes in that continue on surveillance pricing. That's why we need queens like Lena Khan. Lena Khan is a queen.
California bill that would have banned surveillance pricing was just dramatically scaled back after lobbyists wrote op-eds and told legislators that the bill would ban loyalty and rewards programs.
The fear mongering. Just like, affordability is a hoax, the fear mongering. No one can make it affordable. Only I can, but it's a hoax. You know that. The whole throw everything at the wall. If just a warning, wherever you are in the States, and if you're outside of the States, how is life? Do you get to enjoy it? Do you have time with your family? What is paid paternity leave like? What is guaranteed vacation and sick time like? Is it amazing? Is it amazing? But listen, if you have a ballot measure going up in your neck of the woods that may or may not be on fire, be careful when you start getting flooded in your timeline with these op-eds or opinion pieces of like, oh, I guess the government doesn't like loyalty programs. I guess those reward points are just going to get thrown in the garbage. It's like, who gives a shit? We don't need the reward points or the loyalty programs if we're not being price gouged. But I always like to do this because there was a measure up in Seattle, and I'm not even in Seattle. And there was this dude who was writing these opinion pieces who was like harboring all this big resume of like, oh, look at me, I'm a study for da-da-da, I'm a doctor of, science in I don't even know what it was. He had all these accolades, listed for him as he wrote these op-eds, and he was like, not humble bragging, just bragging about how much he knew and why he should really be trusted. And then when you just Googled the author of this article, you were like, oh, he's a paid shill. He's a corporate lobbyist who's like using accolades and persuasion to defeat these fair housing bills and amendments and whatever. And he's just paid for by big housing, I guess that's what they're calling them. I don't know. So just be careful. If you got one of these measures and you see some article that says like, oh, I guess the government hates your rewards program, be like, oh shit, I can see through the matrix.
That's just not true. Drop a comment below if you've experienced surveillance pricing.
I will. Target watches me when I sleep, and they know that sometimes I sing somebody's watching me in my sleep. Thank you, More Perfect Union, for acknowledging the Queen, Lena Khan. Love you. Bye. All right. Just had to leave that comment. Just kidding. I don't leave comments all the time. All right. Now, another one of my beloved YouTube channels, Democracy Now!, who last week I shared with you the Leonard Peltier interview, link in the description. I didn't play it for you because it was like 45 minutes long. But while I was making dinner for the kids, oh my God, I had my earpiece in, listening to it, going, you know how long Rage Against the Machine, the people of the AIM movement, which I think it's still called the AIM movement, and people have been fighting for his freedom. Do you know how many world leaders, how many presidents, not presidents fighting for him, but how many presidents we've experienced since he's been like proven innocent? And it was so good. Out of all the shitty pardons happening, if I can be so crass, out of all these shitty pardons happening, the fraudsters, the Bitcoin schemers, the cocaine traffickers that Donald Trump's pardoning, it was just good that fucking strikebreaker, union busting Joe Biden, that he pardoned Leonard Peltier, just good. So my other favorite news channel where I like to gather and gobble, I think that's how we describe the news nowadays, gather and gobble, is Democracy Now! And yesterday, if you missed it, folks, we had a doozy. It was such a doozy. YouTube limited my advertising on it. So all you maggots in the chat that say, oh, what a grifter making money on commenting on the news, joke's on you. YouTube limits those pennies I get. Ha. So don't worry about me. I'm struggling like the rest of you. I know you think I'm living large doing a live stream on my phone, but nope, still working one job, looking for a second, praying to God. Well, I am God. The Bible is a psychological story about our imagination. So I'm manifesting that I go full time with this, and I become that I am a millionaire socialist. Like everybody who gives Hassan Piker a hard time, they're like, "Oh, rich guy believing in social issues." I am that. Because you can do that. And I'm not going to be greedy with my money, bitches. Oh, how I can't wait. But back to one of my favorite news news dudes, who's actually a dudette. It's the lady in Democracy Now! I love her. She's been doing this for a long time. And yesterday we were talking about Pete, War Crimes Secretary of War Crimes, and the boat strikes. And then talk about surveillance pricing. And then surveillance YouTubing feeds me this YouTube short. Ready? This is David Cole, who wrote a book or something. He's probably like a doctor of bookology. I don't know. Shut up.
This entire operation from the outset is illegal. It is
David Cole, Georgetown University Law Center. That's cool. You don't see that often in government or on TV anymore. You know, somebody who went to law school and teaches law. You know, usually it's like part-time podcasters who are peddling conspiracy theories that were actually true and now they run the FBI. You know, you usually see these inept, inadequate, Botox taking, gender affirming tanning, hair plant doing, you know, kumquats or whatever you want to call them. But this is David Cole, Georgetown University Law Center.
It's not legal to engage in premeditated targeting of people because you believe they're engaged in criminal activity.
I got to pat myself on the back here. For everybody who's new, hit subscribe. I'm not always this bragging and humble. I'm going to call it humble bragging. I'm not always this humble bragging. But yesterday on the live stream, I said that, and I've never been to... Well, I've been to Georgetown, actually. I've been there once. But I've never been to Georgetown Law University. And I already said that. I called it. This guy might have called it before me, but I didn't hear him before. I just called it on my own 2 cents. I said, I seen this movie once, Minority Report with Tom Cruise, where they were like, you know, just premeditating arresting people. And it was like this dystopian thriller. I don't know if anybody else has seen that movie. And in one of my college classes, like, we discussed it. It was like that, you know, eerily could happen soon. And I remember thinking, like, that'd be crazy. You know, if they were like, hey, you probably going to commit a crime one day, so we're just going to lock you up. Fuck the, you know, trial and stuff. You just kind of look like one of those crimey peoples. And I said that yesterday. You can't just go, we got him. And they're like, what? And they're like, yeah, we drone struck the whole boat. And you're like, why? And they're like, they were probably bringing drugs here. I don't know. We don't have any evidence, but like, you got to just be safe, right? And it's like, this is actually way more dangerous. This is way more dangerous. Holy shit. Can anybody with the drone do that? That's what somebody in the press corps should have asked. They should have raised their hand and said, you know, sir, you're saying you could just drone strike anyone that you believe to be doing criminal activity. Are other countries allowed to do that? If I have a drone, can I do that? Like, what sets the precedent that you get to do that? Do you just have to do it in the name of America? You know how, like, when you're on a exorcism? Sorry, I'm an ordained reverend. You know how when you go out and you're trying to scare the demons out of some poor fool in the mid-South? And you just do things in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, and you're in the name of Jesus, in the blood of Jesus, you know, and you're holding that cross like it's a weapon. It's a spiritual weapon. Not for Caroline Levitt, though. But is it just like you just got to do things in the name of America and then you can get away with this shit? Because if that's just the policy, then, you know, I think we should all know that. And I'm very worried about what the future looks like. Anyways, David Cole, back to you.
We have a system in this country for trying people, convicting them, sentencing them, even if you are found to have been guilty of smuggling massive amounts of drugs. You cannot be executed.
Ooh, that's a heavy-hitting sentence. You know, we'd never have the movie Blow. Remember when Johnny Depp played George Young, from Massachusetts, by the way. And Johnny Depp, if you've never seen Blow, watch that movie, as long as you're above 18 or 17. And Johnny Depp is at one point playing George Young, and he's in the courtroom saying to the judge, he's like, so I crossed an imaginary line with a bunch of plants. You're going to send me to prison? And she was like, yeah, we're going to send you to prison. Which even at the time, I've always been a staunch advocate of like, not those plants, man. Some of these plants are medicinal. This is early in his trafficking career, before he got into the cocaine. But you couldn't give him, you don't death sentence these people. You just not like how it works. And especially without even being like, here's the evidence. And I don't know, I just thought that was common sense. But now, like, to back me up, I have to play this Georgetown law professor, which is crazy. You'd think in America people would just be like, yeah, you can't just do that. But no, there's a contingent of America who's like, no, we want Minority Report. We want Minority Report, where the computers tell us who might commit a crime in the future. We want AI to do that.
What we've now learned is that not only is the...
By the way, I linked this video in the description. You should watch it because they play clips of the dronings. I'm not going to play it for you. I ain't prestigious like Democracy Now! But I did link it for you so you could watch it.
The entire operation illegal from the outset, but they're now actually targeting survivors of these strikes. People who pose no threat whatsoever to the United States are seeking to hang on for dear life, and the military is targeting them and killing them in cold blood. This is crimes that the government is trying to justify as acts of war.
Well, they're trying to justify, if I could have the floor, Professor Cole. Is that his name? Yeah. Professor Cole, if I may take it for 1 second. Let me give me that microphone. God damn it. Professor Cole, they're trying to justify it with the just trust me bro argument. Yes, you are correct. They're trying to justify it as acts of war. Correct, Mr. Cole, Professor. But they are also saying, just trust me, bro, bad people. And there are morons falling for it. There are. Back to you, Professor Cole.
If they go to war with Venezuela, that too will be a war crime.
Oh man, war crimes all around. I mean, at this point, we're kind of feeling left out. We don't get to commit any, huh? America?
Be an act of aggression against a country which has not attacked us. The fact that people are probably are smuggling drugs into this country from Venezuela doesn't distinguish that country from Mexico, from Canada, from many other countries into which drugs are from which drugs are smuggled. It doesn't give us the authority to kill Canadians. It doesn't give us the authority to kill Mexicans. It doesn't give us the authority to kill Venezuelans, and it certainly doesn't give us the authority to go to war with a country.
God damn, I love you, David. Your thoughts are handsome. There are 91 ships and 15,000 troops outside of Venezuela right now. Ooh, well, we will actually get into some of the news that my brother... Oh, wait. This is the wrong one. Sorry. News that my brother sent me. I should, we're going to get to this one in a minute. The ice one. But I should get a... See, this is why I need a professional setup. Please hit subscribe. Please hit the notification bell. The economy is going to shit, and I need to do this full time. And I can't do it without you. So, hoorah. My coalition of revolutionists, resistors. So, news that my brother sent me. Thank you. I love you. My brother sent me this, and it was a cool video, so I screenshotted it for you. Clearly, I could have easily went to Twitter. We're not calling it that. This guy sucks. He calls everything X. You suck, Elon. All right, anyways. The truth about Venezuela, they hide. 1999, we're gonna party like it's... world's largest oil reserves nationalized. Oh, Gma, thank you for... I forgot my drink, and I got the hiccups. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Appreciate you. The show happens because of viewers like you. Where have I heard that before? Maybe I just came up with it. Anyways, I hope you are value-tained. Appreciate that. Appreciate you. All right. 1999, world's largest oil reserves nationalized. Oh shit. Do you know what that means? I got a whole book on it. Whoa. It's socialism, folks. It's socialism. They nationalized it. I want to nationalize the Wi-Fi. It's a utility. Everybody needs the oil. Everybody needs the Wi-Fi. So nationalize it. Let the government run it, you know? Let it benefit the people. I lived in a town where the power was nationalized. Well, it was localized. It was town run. Sorry, I just want to say nationalized. And guess what? It was so fucking cheap, always reliable. When towns surrounding us in the winter, they would lose power because of the storms. Guess who still had the power? It was us. And we could afford the electric, not the oil, because the oil, we're going to get into why we couldn't afford the oil. 2017, U.S. sanctions. 2018, Maduro says U.S. media is under Zionist control. Oh, so he's just spitting truth? 2019, $15 million bounty. 2025, warships and $25 million bounty. What is the bounty for? And what number do you call? Because do you get money for any information? Hello, I have some information on Maduro. He's in Venezuela, surrounded by oil. I'd like my 25 million, please. It began when Venezuela blocked foreign control of its oil. Wait. Let's go to the next slide, please. I like to do this because, you know, it makes me feel like I got a big setup. Next slide, please. There we go. Thank you. That's the interns, don't worry. 1999 to 2012, the root Chavez era. Venezuela nationalizes almost all oil fields, kicks out Exxon and Conoco. Is that, I think that's Conan O'Brien's oil company? I think that's Conan O'Brien's oil company. Venezuela confirms 303 billion barrels, largest reserve ever. Wait a minute. U.S. companies lose direct access forever. Oh, no, that's not good. I wonder what's going to happen. 2013, Maduro becomes president. Promises to keep oil in Venezuelan hands. China, Russia, and Iran become main buyers. Does it say anything else? No. Okay. 2014, oil price crash, first sanctions. If you don't know, when people say to you, oh, tell me where is socialism ever existed? Well, besides the CIA cooing every place socialism not only existed, but, you know, worked. The other little trick the United States likes to do with their control of the world is sanctions. They cut you off from everything. That's why Cuba has cars from 1950 and a lung cancer vaccine. If you don't believe me, look it up. U.S. issues early sanctions on officials. Goal, isolate the government economically and politically. Marks the start of sustained pressure. 2017, financial war. U.S. bans Venezuela from U.S. financial markets. Venezuela's central bank is sanctioned. Country can't borrow dollars or sell new bonds. This is financial war without guns yet. And for all you who go, oh, look at Venezuela and their socialism. Okay. 2018, calls out Zionist control over America. He says the big media in the U.S. are in the hands of the Zionist lobby. They coordinate attacks and control satellites, social networks, everything. I think most Americans, you know, in 2018, they might have thought, wow, that's crazy. And in 2025, they're going, oh, yeah, we see it. From that moment, the Western media machine goes into full attack mode. 2019, first bounty on his head. This would make a great movie. Mark Wahlberg, are you reading this? Hit subscribe and the notification bell. I go live every weekday, Mark. I don't know if you're out of breath right now from praying so much in your Halo app, but hit subscribe. U.S. offers $15 million for info leading to Maduro's arrest. Oh, shit, $15 million just for info leading? Fuck, what's the number? Guys, we got a call. I know where he is. He's in Venezuela. I've seen him on the news. I'm pretty sure it's in Venezuela. Just for the info? Holy shit, nobody call. I'm calling with the information. I want my $15 million. Accuses him of drug trafficking and terrorism. No public evidence released. That's a familiar thing. No evidence released, including with the Epstein files. Release them. You signed it. We're waiting. You have 30 days. Just release. They're coming out. The files are coming. The files are coming. We're gonna find out who Bubba is. Who is Bubba? Oh. But the label sticks worldwide. The media doing its thing again. 2019-2023 oil production collapses because of sanctions plus corruption. Daily oil output falls from 3.5 million barrels to under 700,000. People suffer and millions leave the country. Media headline every day, Maduro's fault. Sanctions rarely mentioned. That's why books can be great if you want to know about things. Books sometimes are good. Next slide, please. Thank you. 2023-2025 criticizes Israel. Maduro becomes one of the loudest critics of Israel. Calls Gaza a genocide, calls Netanyahu 21st century Hitler, sends aid to Gaza, sides publicly with Palestine. This puts him head on against the Zionists in Washington. Oh, man. Oh, man. Early 2025, bounty jumps to 25 million. Is it still just for information for the 25 million? Are you just wanting information? Please. U.S. accuses Maduro of leading the Cartel de los Soles. Same terror list as Bin Laden and Al Qaeda. I don't think so anymore, because I'm pretty sure when Donald Trump met with his new best friend, Mohammed bin Salad, MBS, multiple bowel syndrome, whatever his name is. He took all the terrorists off the watch. He was like, I kind of like these golden gods, these golden calves. Still zero public evidence of him moving drugs. Mid-2025, warships, largest U.S. naval presence in the Caribbean, amphibian. Since the 1950s Cuba crisis, aircraft carriers, destroyers, and subs, pressure becomes openly military. Why him? Controls world's biggest oil reserve. Central bank is 100% state-controlled. No Rothschilds, no Wall Street access. Speaks against Israel. Says Zionist lobby runs U.S. media, which it does. The media proves him by destroying him 24/7. The playbook is the same. 1953, Iran nationalizes oil, coup. 1973, in this book, 1973, the shock doctrine. Chile nationalizes copper, coup. 2003, Iraq oil and no WMDs, invasion. Libya leaves Western alignment, regime collapse. 2025, Venezuela holds world's largest oil reserves. It's Charlie Kelly. Well, hot damn, Charlie. Hot damn, Charlie. Quote, President Roosevelt spoke out strongly against war profiteering. I do not want to see one single millionaire in the United States profiting from world distress. Quote, Naomi Klein, shock doctrine. Charlie Kelly, our good friend from It's Always Sunny, has read this book. This book is a great book. Everybody should read this book. Everybody. And thank you for the super chat. You guys keep this channel going. You guys keep this channel going. Because, it's been tough. I'm like, I love doing this. But I've been doing this for a year and a half. Oh, we're coming up on 2 years. I've been doing live streams. I've seen the channel, in 2 years, almost 10,000, right? Subs. Please hit subscribe and notification bell. But times are just getting worse and worse. So, working all the time, trying to find ways to make money so we don't die. Awesome, guys. Awesome. This country is awesome. It's so great to be in America, where if you don't work enough, you die. No safety nets, no help, no nothing. And things are getting more expensive. But, these super chats help so much. And I'm always trying to make room for this live because it is so important So important to speak out, so important to bring information to other people, so important to not be the fucking lamestream media, the Joe Rogans, the Fox News, the CNN, all these people that are just pandering to their orange queef in the White House, and making things worse, or, convincing you affordability is a hoax. It's like there's people who remember when we lived in a single earner economy. There's people who remember before, like, people were like, I don't know if we should tax corporations or billionaires. They created those shitty jobs where none of us can afford to live. Like, there was a time before that, so it's important. And if you don't think speaking out is important, then why do you think Donald Trump holds 4,000 press conferences a fucking year? He's clearly not doing anything. He's just out there doing the propaganda. He's doing the propaganda tour on TV. So we need equal time to combat that. I'm not a Democrat. It's still always pretty incredible to me that people hear the words come out of my mouth and think I've ever been registered a Democrat. I'm the woke left that the government warns you about. Because if you listen to me, we'll have free health care paid for by Billionaires Tax. Hey, you know what? Let me just show you. I'll just show you. If you listen to me, these guys would be in prison. And we'd have this stuff. Go ahead and read it. More importantly, these guys would be in prison. But we'd have this stuff. More importantly, these criminals, I don't know who that is, but these criminals, and ICE would probably go after her. But these criminals, they'd be in prison. Release the Epstein files. Prove that you shouldn't be in prison. Prove it. Prove it. You got the evidence. You got the damning files. Prove it. I miss them. I miss them. I miss them. Want to see a beautiful sunset? Look at that. Look at that. That is a winter sky. All right. All right. That is a winter sky. And that is a stroke victim. All right. What else? Okay. So that was David Cole, a smart person, telling us, yeah, these are war crimes. What else I wanted to go through the ICE thing with you. ICE, baby. Dun 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 dun. Government should be smaller. Perfect. Excellent. And then we're gonna play a little more of the affordability as a hoax, even though that's the hoax he ran on. You got hoaxed. Oh, that should be Ashton Kutcher's new TV show on MTV2. You got hoaxed. And you should just go around to voters in deep red states and be like, you got hoaxed. The country sucks. All right, the real scam, bed quotas. Wait a minute. This is not where it starts. Hold on. Am I going backwards? No. Oh, hold on. I'm missing a couple slides. Give me a second. Oh, did you guys see, hold on, before we get into the slides, did you guys see the new White House Christmas? Melania came out of hiding? Is she hiding from ICE too? Melania came out of hiding and decorated the White House. It's not as terrifying as her Slender Man rendition, as you could tell. And she decorated for, like, I don't know, a Kanye West album release. I don't know what she did the other Christmas, but this Christmas it's I'm guessing the theme is greed and gluttony. I don't know. I didn't read the article. I just looked at the pictures. But if you didn't see, if you look closely, we make fun of it here, and I learned that Be Best is just a ripoff of one of her modeling shoots. One of her modeling shoots was, the theme was like Be Something. So she just took this from, like, we know she plagiarized Michelle Obama. She plagiarized, I'm sure, many things. I think there was other speeches. But now we find out she plagiarized Be Best. And what's funny is, like, look at those ornaments, they're not even Be Best. If we be real, those ornaments ain't being best. But yeah, Melania, like that groundhog, came out, saw her shadow, decorated her trees, hung little bee bests everywhere. I pray that South Park does something with this. I can't watch them anymore because, I don't support Paramount Plus, but look at this. He hung his ketchup photo up. Oh my God, loser. Loser. All right, ice isn't what you think. Are you guys ready to learn about ice? I wish I had a sound bite for it. I don't have a sound bite for it. My apologies. Oh, here's one.
It's a trap.
It's a trap. That's a good opening for this. ICE isn't what you think. They told you it's about protecting borders. They're not at the border, folks. They told you only criminals get detained. A lot of criminals hanging outside of Home Depot and going to kids' schools or showing up for their immigration court appearances. Okay. Told you your rights are safe. The truth. ICE has become a profit machine with powers that bypass your rights, and most people have no idea. No idea. What do you call a blind fawn? No idea. ICE isn't what you... What? We already did that one. Man. Stop doing that. Massive profits. Over 80% of ICE detainees are held in private for-profit facilities, meaning more detainees, more profit. Detention becomes a business model. Where have I seen that before? That's right. The American prison system. Interesting. So it's been done. Who runs it? GEO Group or Geo Group and Core Civic, multi-billion-dollar corporations. Guess who's one of the large shareholders? BlackRock. They lobby Congress. They donate to campaigns. They have shareholders to please. That's a creepy sentence. How the money works. ICE pays $140, $300 per detainee. Examples, they get $200 a day, $142 a day, and this is per detainee. Where does the money come from? Taxpayers. Not good, folks. Not good, folks. The real scam, bed quotas. Many facilities have guaranteed minimums or take or pay contracts, meaning ICE pays for a minimum number of beds even if they're empty. Empty beds, still paid. Full beds, bonus profit. My God. How big is the business? 2.4 billion a year, 2 billion a year. Immigration detention is 3 to 4 billion a year dollar profit. Human beings turn into revenue streams. Together, they run over 90% of the ICE detention beds through federal contracts. You know what's the craziest thing when I read that? I think, someday in the future, there's going to be not many of us left because they're going to turn this on us. But there will be the small portion of, greedy people that are like, what happened to the local ICE detention centers? They're closed. These Geo and Core Civic have run us local detention centers out of town. And we either all work here or are prisoners of it. Sometimes you can only laugh. They're both publicly traded companies. Both explicitly state in their financial filings, our revenue depends on the number of individuals housed in our facilities. More detainees, more profits. Zero oversight. ICE agents can detain without a warrant, grab people based on reasonable suspicion, wear masks, not identify themselves. Yes, legally. When law enforcement hides its face, you no longer have transparency. What rights does this violate? Fourth Amendment, Fifth Amendment, 14th Amendment. Yet loopholes let ICE bypass all three, and they use them. You see the problem here? September ruling, if someone looks Latino or speaks Spanish, that can count as reasonable suspicion. No crime, no threat, just ethnicity and language. That is a racial profiling made legal. Today is Latinos. When agents wear masks and don't identify themselves, criminals copy them. And tomorrow is going to be you, just so you know. You don't fight back now. What's going to stop it when they turn it on you? Because you looked up a meme, which happened in the beginning of this regime. A kid from Norway was coming in, had a meme with J.D. Vance on his phone. That's why that meme blew up everywhere, because they didn't let him into the country. How can citizens tell real agents from predators? They can't, and ICE knows this. And I'm sure the protectors of Jeffrey Epstein and his cohorts and his facility of creep men understand this, and they're making this country much less safe. This is not about left versus right, pro-immigration versus anti, Latino versus U.S. This is about government overreach and corporate profits disguised as border security. Today is them. Tomorrow, anyone who doesn't comply. If you believe in human dignity, you should care. And I fully support that. I fully support that. Hopefully, you don't fully support these creeps. Like the poem, first they came for the communists. First they came for this, then they came for the socialists. Then they came for the union workers. But I was not one, because union membership is down in America, hence the degradation of the middle class. And we just have a working class and a poor working class. But yes, you're very right. You're very right. It was by a rabbi or a reverend or a pope or somebody. Shout out to the real ones in the chat. I love when you say that, Crush, because shout out to the real ones. Bingo. Bingo is right. All right, guys. So I think, oh, you know what? I had also linked, I guess I'll play this for you. Lily Wachowski discusses a little bit. She is a very interesting person. If you don't know, the Wachowski sisters, I believe it is now, did The Matrix and all that. Very anti-Trump. It discusses fascism in this, but I also linked the latest Some More News, another great YouTuber, their video on Venezuela, the war crimes, the war that we're going into. We have no control. We can speak out and we can show mass mobilization. Join the channel, hit subscribe. We can resist. We can let them know how unpopular they are. And the best part, here's the inspiration, here's the hope. We're going to hold them all accountable. I was listening to Tim Waltz talk about something or tweet something, and I thought, what a different future we would have had with a guy like that, like a caring father figure for a country. You know what they wanted in a big, strong man who's now calling affordability a hoax, even though he ran on it. He doesn't give a shit about you, your kids, your grandparents, our society, dragging us into war, kicking and screaming. Well, some of us. But Tim Waltz, and I didn't even realize when this dude called him seriously R-word, I forgot Tim Waltz's son, I believe, has autism. I thought, what kind of creep, criminal, predatory, Epstein best friend, King Joffrey mother would do that, you know? Like, as the president, sitting in the most powerful seat, greeding up and grubbing up, looting our government to steal all our tax money, steal from Meals on Wheels, steal from our education, steal from basically every taxpayer, steal from our veterans, calling out veterans, you know, just the worst of humanity, all embodied in this freak next to his buddy Bubba right there. And it just hit me so different. Like, man, we're dealing with a different level of disgust when it comes to this pervert, you know? So please check out the Some More News video that I linked down below. And I'm going to play this Lily Wachowski, creator of The Matrix.
Are freaks like co-opting this thing to make it something.
So the interviewer is asking her about, like, the loser freaks, you know, the red pillars, the maggots that think, you know, the Matrix was meant for them, even though, you know, the creator of the Matrix is very much anti that movement and Trump. And that's what they're discussing, or he's asking her.
Yeah, that just must be so crazy for you to be like, why are members of the Trump administration like talking about the Matrix like it was made for them and their ideology when it came from you and you're not, that's not you at all. I mean, what do you even do with that? Other than love it, I know you voted for him.
I did twice.
They don't make stuff anymore with the idea that I wanted to reach as many people as possible. I make to make, right? It's like you just finished Trash Mountain. That experience is the reason you're there,
Yeah.
not what comes after. Right-wing ideology appropriates absolutely everything. They appropriate left-wing points of view.
That is so powerful because what this dude ran on, right? Oh, sorry, that's just him and his best friend pervert. Hold on. What he ran on, affordability, and if you've hit subscribe and hit the notification bell, you've been here for more than one show. I've said Donald Trump ran on affordability. That was his whole thing. I'm going to lower egg prices. Mamdani, however you pronounce it, who became the mayor of New York a few weeks ago, he ran on the same thing, except I'm going to add in a free bus ride to get your low-cost egg. And people said New York has fallen, Donald Trump and his MAGA grift co-opted populism, socialism, co-opted affordability. I'm for the people. I'm for the working class. I love unions. He co-opted that. He meant nothing. He meant none of it. I mean, look, he's saying it's a hoax. He's saying, oh, affordability is a hoax. Oh, yeah. Everything's cheap now. Just you're stupid. I don't want to hear about it. He'll say anything, And Lily's pointing that out. The grift will utilize socialism and turn it into their own propaganda. And then at the same time, when Mamdani's saying, you guys want affordability, right? And the crossover between people who voted for Trump in New York and people, I mean, not a lot of them, and people who voted for Mamdani is huge. Why? Because he lied and said, I want to make America affordable. And Mamdani said, that's my whole thing. I'm a democratic socialist. I want the people to be able to afford things. I think society is better when the workers have a piece of the pie, not crumbs. So she is 100% correct. The right grifts on this and then turns around and says, oh my God, he's running on affordability. New York has fallen.
And they mutate them for their own propaganda, for their own, to obfuscate what the real message is.
What's the real message? We want power so we can run meme coins.
This is what fascism does. And so, of course, that's going to happen.
Right.
Food for thought, or thoughts for food. Times are tough, so we might just be having thoughts for dinner. Remember when that CEO of the cereal company said if you can't afford dinner, just buy his cereal? And people didn't rise up? Yeah. I wanted to. And if you do too, if you're sick of this, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Oh, did you guys see this? Hold on. What was this one? Well, did you see that they're bragging about just only allowing white refugees coming into America? They obfuscated, like Lily said, and co-opted propaganda so they could just really do their racist ways. Stroke victim, MRI, 2-time MRI winner. Best friend with this guy. Did you see this story? I always love Trump. This is unfair. Republican mayor can't believe he's facing deportation after 50 years in the U.S. It's like, you always love Trump, but this is always loving that girl that has a restraining order against you. It ain't going to end up well. It's weird to say I always love this guy. I just want to remind people the Epstein files have not been released, and we're waiting. Clock's a ticking, buddy. Old Father Time said 2 MRIs. I'm pretty sure it's 3 MRIs and you're out, but I don't know. I don't know what MRIs do. Apparently they don't scan your brain like he said. Oh, remember that? Remember yesterday? It's so funny. The president's having 2 MRIs and he's going, What part
What
of the
part of the body?
I don't know. I don't know. What part of the body? I aced it.
It wasn't the brain because I took a cognitive test and I aced it. I got a perfect mark.
You got a perfect mark, little buddy? Is that how the doctor grades things? He says perfect marks. You ever been to a doctor's appointment and they said perfect marks? I'll tell you what. I'll explain the housing market once you hit subscribe and the notification bell, because I've explained it many times. You can just use that little supercomputer on your phone there, you adorable little maroon, and you could just look up how many empty houses are there in America for every homeless person. You could just look that up, because I know the media loves to tell you we need more housing. We need lax regulations so corporations can just build. What kind of housing are you building? Would that be luxury housing that no one can afford that's sitting empty right now? We just talked about yesterday that 7% of multifamily homes are sitting empty in America. A new record high? What? I thought we had a housing crisis. Oh, why don't you look up who owns all the housing in America? Okay. So you got to hit subscribe. But I'll explain it, because I do all the time, because little people like you come in here and you go, well, explain it. Explain it. Explain all these Airbnbs that are being held up for people to rent by the week and why we have a housing crisis. Explain it to me how BlackRock owns, or Blackstone owns fucking 90% of the fucking, apartments in my local area, and they're a major landholder and everything, or Blackstone or whatever. They're one of the black fucking, publicly traded stockholders, buying up towns in Florida. Towns. They're buying all the homes in towns. But yeah, it's got to be them immigrants, man. You keep hoping. We'll see if we get to the conclusion. I love the MAGA. Will the bleeding heart liberal bring the homeless into his home? If I had to, of course I would. 100%. Which I have before, too. If you didn't know, my brother's been homeless for many decades. And I've done my best. And I've known other people that have. But yeah, let's make it all about if all do it, Again, hey, here's an idea. You help me get to be a millionaire, and I'll show you what fucking not being greedy looks like. I'll show you. That's my word to you. Help me become one of these billionaires, and I'll show you how it's fucking done. That's my word. I've seen too many good people suffer, die, go houseless, go homeless. Well, the necessities are around them. They're houseless outside of empty homes. So hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. You help me get there, and I'll show you fucking how great you can be and still do better than survive. That's a big problem with America. Such a big problem that they worship greed, God. I hope, hey, MAGA guy, I hope you take that same tone with Donald Trump, with Elon Musk, with Amazon's Bezos. I hope you take that song. Will that corporate CEO, when he has the Amazon packages that smile and say he cares about my community, will he pay his workers enough to afford to live? You don't take that tone. Why? Because I'm advocating for it? Does everybody else get an excuse? So if I'm just a dickbag, I get an excuse? You see how flawed your logic is? Do you understand? That's such a sad logic. And if you don't think it is, then I just hope you hold these billionaires. Well, if you do, then holy shit, you're on my side. So then you do think these billionaires should not be this greedy and should pay their workers more. Are you a union man too, just in disguise as an asshole? You should really take that disguise off. Don't worship this guy. Release the Epstein files. All right, guys. Have a great night. Hit subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Much love. Peace. Thank you, Crush. Thank you. Who else was here? Michael O. Crush. Michael. I seen some more. Sweet Hote. Somebody else was here. If I forget, my apologies. My apologies. YouTube changed all the name things. Gma. YouTube, stop doing stuff that makes no sense. Just give us a filter where we can filter how many subs people have and we can find smaller channels and support them. God. Make so many bad decisions. Thank you guys. Have a great